Brian Lehrer on WNYC, and we will end the show today with a quick follow-up call-in on something we asked Senator Andy Kim about last hour. It's the bill that has now passed the House of Representatives and so is in the Senate's hands to make daylight savings time year-round. If you were in the Senate, would you vote for this bill? 212-433 WNYC. This is a daylight savings time year-round. Yes or no, thumbs up or thumbs down, 212-433 WNYC. You be the senator, because the senators are going to have to vote on this, apparently, because it passed the House. 212-433-9692. Actually, we can expand it slightly to say, which of the following are you for? Year-round daylight savings time, as in the bill, year-round standard time, or keep the current back and forth. 212-433 WNYC, 212-433-9692. When I asked New Jersey Senator Andy Kim where he stands on this, when he was on the show last hour, he candidly said he hasn't made up his mind yet, and he cited some pros and cons.
I think some businesses are excited about having daylight savings because it's more sunlight in the evening, more evening activities, sports, other things like that. So that's one thing. The con that I hear is that, look, a lot of kids are going to be going to school in the dark in the mornings, and there was an increase in accidents for kids. Also, it's about just like sleep rhythms, and that it could be detrimental for a number of people when it comes to sleep patterns and being able to stay healthy.
So pros and cons from Senator Kim, who's still deciding. How do you want him to vote? And which would you prefer? Year-round daylight savings time? Okay, it's singular, I know. Daylight saving time. I never say it right. Year-round standard time? Keep the current back and forth? Or there's even one more option. We got a text already from somebody who said, split the difference. Move it 30 minutes, in between where the two of those time periods are, and keep that all year round. You tell us, 212-433 WNYC, 212-433-9692. It's an informal, unofficial, thoroughly unscientific call-in on the daylight saving time year-round bill. We'll take your calls and texts right after this. Brian Lehrer on WNYC. All right, to your calls and text on this year-round daylight saving time bill, which did pass the House of Representatives and is now before the Senate. Jane in Union City, you're on WNYC. Hi, Jane.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I didn't know I'd be talking with you. My thought was...
You could have assumed it since you called in, but anyway, hi.
Okay. Long time listener. Thanks for everything that you do.
Thank you.
I think that it would be worthwhile voting it in with a provision that says, let's monitor what this does. Let's look at the benefits, look at how well it works, and if in 3 to 5 years it's chaotic and not working, then think it through again.
Good. Kind of test your hypothesis way of looking at it. How do you like that one, folks? 3 to 5 years as a trial and see if it's working. Of course, if some of the health experts are right, more people will die as a result of that. But that's one of the things, right? I have the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety statement here, which says daylight saving time leads to improved safety for pedestrians, but worsening safety for drivers and motorcyclists. So it would be a mixed bag in that respect. Another listener seems to want to split the difference by what part of the country you're in. Listener writes, standard time in the northern states all year round, please. Young students starting school in the dark in the late fall and winter is no good. Writes Karen K. at the Jersey Shore. But, maybe it's different as you get closer to the equator. How about Ernest in Chelsea? You're on WNYC. You're a split the difference guy in another way, right?
Sure. move it 30 minutes, leave everybody half happy, half sad, and make all states comply so it doesn't, so that we're all there, and leave us out of sync with the rest of the world. We already are.
Thank you, Ernest. About the rest of the world, I have a stat here that about a third of countries observe daylight saving time. Most of those countries are in Europe, so Northern Hemisphere. Some countries that had implemented daylight saving time would later abolish it, so there's some history there to draw on from some other countries. So this push for permanent daylight saving time or the idea of abolishing it would not be without precedent in some other places in the world. How about Julia on Cape Cod? You're on WNYC. Hi, Julia.
Hi. I would hope that we would just go to standard time. It's better for our sleep cycles, and the sleep experts and health experts say it's the best thing for us. And I just would hate if daylight savings time was the law of the land. I just hate it.
Thank you very much. Another one like that says, standard time, I actually believe in science. Science says it's better for us, period. So why argue? At the same time, I know the average citizen wants to sleep in and have more sunlight into the evening, so I don't think science is going to win, writes that listener. I think Terry in Manhattan is in that camp too. Terry, you're on WNYC. Hi.
Hi, how you doing? So I know that someone called in earlier and said, let's try to experiment. We did experiment. We experimented from 1973 to 1975, and it was a disaster. People just didn't like it. They didn't like the darkness in the morning. The clincher, unfortunately, seems to have been a bad accident in which some school children got killed early in the morning. I think it was 8 kids got killed, and that created a big pushback. But I mean, beyond that, people just did not like it. That winter that we winter that we went through when it was so dark, and then stayed dark, throughout the year. So we've run the experiment. The experiment is over. We just need to remember we don't need to do it again. And I would go to full-time standard time.
I think that 70s experiment was to try to save energy, right? To keep it light later so there'd be... Oh, it didn't even save energy? That's your understanding of the history?
No, it didn't do that. It didn't do it. Because you know why? Because people are up early and in the morning. They need lights then too. I don't know not sure what the thinking was. In fact, in the evening, I guess they did it so the recreation industry liked it. Probably cost it. I mean, I'm just thinking it through, but it probably costs energy because you tend to be outside more in the evening. You tend to be inside, getting your breakfast ready, and you need a long light.
Terry, thank you very much. Listener writes, I don't see why we don't leave the time where it is and adjust our schedules, depending on where we are in the time zone and latitude to accommodate our local needs state by state. I agree with a trial period with whatever is implemented. Listener writes, I am in strong favor of daylight saving time because I have low night vision, and this would enable me to enjoy the evening hours more and drive a little longer at night. Thank you. And another listener writes, please address the extreme heat aspect of daylight saving time. You've never mentioned it in several segments over years, and I, for one, have asked. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I guess there's a heat aspect. One more call. Let's see. Jim in the Bronx, you're on WNYC. Hi, Jim.
Hi, I've been in New York for just shy of 40 years. I would like daylight savings time to be year-round. Love this city, nice and bright.
Nice and bright in the evening. All right, we're going to leave it there. I will say that in this informal, unofficial, thoroughly unscientific poll of listeners, I have a feeling it lines up with scientific polls around the country. It's more unpopular, this idea of year-round daylight saving time, than popular. People think it's against the health statistics. They hate the idea of school kids having to go early in the morning when it's still dark. And there we go. But people's suggestions are all over the map, so thanks for your calls and text. The Senate will have to decide. Thanks for listening today. Stay tuned for all of it.
WNYC's journalism and storytelling is heard by millions of passionate listeners. Sponsors of our programming gain our listeners' attention and their respect. Learn about how your organization can support WNYC and WNYC Studios at sponsorship.wnyc.org.